Hey ladies, how's it going? Happy Monday, it's a new week. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So, hello. Happy Monday. It's a brand new week. Thank you ladies for tuning in. Hey, Pretty Practical. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Chic Mystique. Okay, great. You can hear me. Perfect. So, I don't know if you ladies have been, um, you know, I don't know if you ladies have been seeing what's been going on. It's really hard for me to ignore it at this point. So that's why I wanted to come on and talk about it because, on my channel, if you ladies are new, and hello to all the new subscribers, right? If you ladies are new, my channel is pro marriage, right? It's traditional. My channel originally started because I wanted to have a femininity channel for Black women. However, the femininity channels that were out, and this is when femininity content was like at its height, those channels only talked about like makeup and how you dress and the things you wear, right? And then a little bit about relationships and hypergamy and stuff. But there wasn't a femininity channel that catered to like the mindset and being a intellectual woman who's still achieving and succeeding in her femininity, in her traditional relationships, and in hypergamy. So that's how I wanted my channel to start off as, where we talk about things and we really dive deep into legitimate practical steps to get what you want. And then, as a Black woman, I think that this type of information is most useful to Black women, right? Considering the state of Black women, where a lot of Black women come from, experiences that Black women have had, the negative experiences at that, and how we as Black women can achieve something that our mothers were never able to do, that our grandmothers were never able to do. I mean, it truly is an amazing time to be a Black woman. Like, I've been saying this in 2022 and beyond, it truly is. Is everything perfect? No, everything's not perfect, but there is so much opportunity now more than ever before to succeed. I mean, as a Black woman in today's society, in relationships, in your career, in your education, and just overall your image. I'm seeing Black women accomplish things everywhere, right? I'm seeing Black women accomplish things in their relationships. I've never seen, I swear, I've never seen so much content involving Black women and their relationships, dating out, especially being with non-Black men. It's all over TikTok. Any video you see of a young Black woman or a Black woman of any age, honestly, in a healthy, beautiful relationship with a non-Black man, especially, those videos are going freaking viral. It's crazy. And I swear, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, videos like that were just not common, and Black women were not um, at large like they are today. At least they were not encouraging Black women to pursue those types of relationships. So it's so different now. Hey, Black woman making money. Make sure you ladies subscribe to her channel. She has an amazing channel. Hey, Veronica, she says yes, there was. Shout out to Miss April Mason. Hey, True Mystique. Yes, it truly is an amazing time to be a Black woman, right? There's so much positivity going on right now. Hold on, I want to make sure my connection didn't get lost. I don't think it did. But there's so much. Dang, what was I saying? Oh, there's so much of amazing content and imagery being passed around regarding Black women. And I truly believe our image is changing and it's succeeding for the better. However, however, we still have some women in this space. Okay, my connection is still good. Great. We still have some women on YouTube who believe who are under the impression that Black women are still at the bottom, that Black women are lost, that we're being deceived, that we're missing out on some things, right? And, I talk about certain things on my channel, especially manosphere and things like that. That's always been a portion of my channel to offer critique and research. Because earlier in this live, I was talking about I started my channel to be like a femininity channel for Black women, but focusing more on our mind and our spirit and how we show up, within the inside, because there were too many femininity channels that just focused on like makeup and style and poise and etiquette, but not enough content that focused on how you're supposed to think, or like challenging your thought process as a feminine woman, or trying to become that ultimate feminine woman that you want to be. Right. So I have a critique and research portion of my channel. And this portion critiques the manosphere and red pill content because out of all spaces on YouTube, that space talks the most crap about Black women on the internet. I mean, things in the red pill and these black male podcasters say about Black women, they end up going viral, and they're all based off of lies. They're based off of really a minuscule of Black women in the Black community. Now, I've never on my space said, like on my platform, have said that Black women are perfect. Obviously, there are some Black women that, could still use some growing and some improving to do, right? No one is saying that Black women as a collective are 100% perfect 100% of the time. It's not possible, right? But at the end of the day, I don't need to show videos of 300-pound Black women in bonnets and pajamas fighting over a man in the street to try to help you guys get better. Like, I don't need to show you guys clips like that. Like, the clips I show of Black women on my channel, they look amazing. They're flourishing, they're happy, they're doing their thing. And that is the best way, in my opinion, showing through positive imagery. That is the best way that we're going to keep Black women kind of in alignment with the ultimate goal, which is to be our best, by showing the best form of images, not the opposite. But we do have those women that want to come on the internet and make a mockery of Black womanhood. They want to point out the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Black womanhood, and then explode it to be all that we are in totality, when it's not. That's a minuscule of Black women creating all these, these situations of, fighting and being aggressive and stuff like that. Majority of Black women are not in the streets fighting people. Majority of Black women are not trying to step up to the plate and duke it out with the man. Like, majority of Black women aren't doing that. That's not what's happening in reality. So hold on, let me also put this up. So there's just a woman, I haven't really talked about her specifically, but there is a white woman. Let me put a picture up. There is a white woman who was overtaking I guess, the Black manosphere space. And she's overtaking this space because she's, profiting off of it, number one. And she's talking to Black people about relationships. And she's basically like using Kevin Samuel's talking points. But at the end of the day, she's using Black women imagery, negative Black women imagery, Black women who I would consider myself personally, my personal opinion, Black women who may have some growing to do, some emotional, mental, and spiritual maturing to do. And she's inviting them on her platform for the entire world to see, and then labeling all Black women like this. And this is what's making her so popular, this white woman right here. And she is also a red pill woman as well. She does not claim to be part of the Black manosphere, but she is a red pill woman. I have also showed you guys on the last stream I showed you guys another red pill woman by the name of Chantelle Simone. And I also said on my last stream that recently I took a little trip down to Pick Me Ville. I haven't been there for a while, but apparently there's a lot of things going on. These pygmies are being questioned as to why they're going as hard as they're going for men. What are their intentions? Are they just doing this for the bag? And there have been some clips emerge of some of these women saying that they don't care if they're making money. Like, who cares if they're here for the money? They're trying to get their voice out. They're trying to help women, right? They're trying to be a red pill woman to get other women to wake up and understand that they are gonna drive themselves into a wall or whatever. The crazy thing is these red pill women, like I said before, they thrive off of showing negative imagery and negative videos, or even kind of confusing talking points from other women, and they want to label this the modern woman. They want to label this the black woman. But in reality, according to the stats, black women in totality are not meeting this aggressive, like, anti man, anti family rhetoric. I don't care what these black men say online. Majority of black women are not misandrist. They're not. I think majority of black women probably had a lot of negative experiences with black men. We already know that the black community is have a lot of people come from single mother homes in the black community. So that means a lot of fathers for both black men and black women have not been in the home. So it's safe to say that both black men and black women probably have some, animosity towards like a father figure or a father in the role or men in relationships. Um, and it just looks different for both of us, but it's there. But I would not get on the internet and say that black women are intentionally trying to be difficult amongst men in relationships. That's just not true. Okay, that's just not true, because black women are still dating, they still go out with guys. I do think that as a collective of women, if we want better results in our relationships, we need to choose different men. We need to choose better men, which is where the BWE space comes in: swirling, divesting, and upping your standards, upping your boundaries, and opening up your options. And I particularly preach this to black women: to open up your options. Stop only dating black men, excluding every other race of guy in the world, and only choosing the black guy. You are doing yourself a crazy amount of disservice. Okay, just letting you know that right now. If you're a single black woman, you've never been married, you don't have no children, quite literally the world is your oyster. If you're just a single black woman, period, the world is your oyster. You have no reason to set limitations, especially based on race, if you do want a serious relationship, if you do want families, right? So, anyway, back to this white woman. She has used up all of the talking points that the Black manosphere has come up with, particularly Kevin Samuels' talking points, Tommy Sotomayor, Tariq Nasheed. This white woman has taken them all. She's actually paid Kevin Samuels when he was alive. She paid him for a consultation or whatever, for a meeting or whatever, and learned from him. And once she did that, she started her own channel. So she has a channel called Just Pearly Things. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen. And the crazy part is about her channel is that she has videos specifically about black women. As in, she has videos. Let me scroll down here. She has videos on here saying that black women are, difficult, not desirable. Right here, the reason black women are divesting. Can you guys see this? Where was it? I just scrolled. So she just has all of these videos, and the the crazy part is that she says she's not talking about black issues. She's not trying to profit off of black dysfunction, but all of her videos include black people. Like 98% of her videos and her conversations are happening to black people. Look at this. The black culture has done more harm. Modern woman disqualified. Black guy destroys insecure modern woman. This white woman who owns this channel, it is quite literally profiting off of black dysfunction, off of black men and women going at it. And, I was listening to another stream, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, and a man who was a black manosphere content creator. Look at this, the victim mindset of black women. Another black man who was a black manosphere content creator. He blames her popularity on black women. He blames it on black women, which is crazy to me because if you look at her comments, and I bet you if she pulled up her analytics, majority of the people watching her are not they are not black women. Black women are not pushing for imagery of us being 300 pounds with bonnets on and pajamas in the street to be all over the internet. We're not advocating for that. We don't want to see that. Black men like seeing that because black men are the ones who, in my personal opinion, a lot of them have mommy issues. A lot of them have, a lot of issues with just the presence of a black woman. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but they've never seen black women being treated positively. My opinion is they haven't seen black women being treated positively because they're raised in single mother homes. They haven't seen their fathers treated treating their moms correctly, so therefore they can't understand how to treat a black woman correctly. They've never seen the first black woman they've ever known. They've never seen her being treated correctly. They've only seen like probably other races of women whose men don't leave them. They've seen white women and Asian women and Hispanic women getting taken care of by men, so they can only, you know, exercise that part of dealing with a woman, taking care of her. They can only exercise that with non-black women. That's my personal opinion. That's what I've observed. Wow, you guys weren't even like, oh, okay, sorry. I didn't even realize. Didn't have it up. Okay, but this is her channel. This white woman. This is her channel. She has videos um, with the title of Black Women Are This, Black Women Are That. And the reason Black women are divesting, here it is. The victim mindset of Black women, right? Like, Black women are not giving this white woman the okay to make videos like this. They're not. They're just not. And look at this, African woman battle out who's more black. Like, the crazy thing to me is, why does this white woman care? And the funny part is she actually doesn't care. She actually talks about on other live streams that she's done that she doesn't try to profit off of black trauma and black dysfunction, but continues to show it on her channel. She continues to show this stuff on her channel. I don't know what her angle is. If she's trying to help the black community, because first of all, she's living in London, and a lot of the people she has on her panel aren't even American. Um, but it's safe to say that this content and what she's doing would not be popular amongst white people. Okay, it wouldn't be popular amongst white people. That's why she's not trying to do it with them. She's doing it with black people because she's observed, our community in terms of like how black people are, in terms of how black people react to things and the money that it's being made. And so now she wants to get in on it. Now she wants to get in on it. Can you guys still hear me? Bridget says she is making her bag of the dysfunction of black people. Yeah, she is. She is. She's located in London now. Yep. From my understanding, she's also like 6 feet tall, I guess. That's what I've heard too. I've also heard that Okay, cool. You guys can hear me. As I've also heard that she has me too'd a black NFL player. She made a video that she deleted where she says that an NFL player did something inappropriate to her. She also says her father wasn't around, so she considered this trainer who was um, a fitness trainer who was an NFL player. She started to look at him as a father figure, and I don't know, I didn't watch the rest of the video, but she me too'd him. So this black NFL player who was training her in fitness did something inappropriate. So she deleted that video though, so you're not gonna find it. I think it is floating around on YouTube. However, um, it is floating around on YouTube, but um, yeah, it is floating around on YouTube, so you can find it somewhere. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Golden says Black women do go on her show or bring her to their platforms. Black women don't know how to ignore these people. They use Black women outrage to popularize themselves. Yes, Black women are choosing to go on her platform, but Black women are not sharing her videos. Black women are not commenting on the majority of the time, and majority of her subscribers are not Black women. Same with Fresh and Fit. Black women are going on Fresh and Fit, but majority of Fresh and Fit's viewers are not Black women. A lot of them are Black men. So Black women are participating in the foolery, but Black men are making it famous. They are making it viral. They are pushing it into the algorithm. And she knows that Black men are going to do this. As a Black woman, you have no what desire, how can you desire to push an image of a Black woman being aggressive and loud with other men? Like I don't care to share that on my social media. I care to share Black women on vacation, hair and lipstick popping, like, and I like to share it as a this is what I how I'm trying to be. Like that's the type of stuff I post on my stuff. If you follow my personal accounts, you will never see me post anything about Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, this white woman right here. I would never repost any of this BS. So the fact that a lot of her content is popular, Black women are not reposting her. They are going on the show, but they are not reposting it. Black men are reposting this. They are also in her comments. Hey, Bula. Um, they are also in her comments, and they're the ones who are making her famous. And then at the same time, there's a portion of the Black manosphere who is upset that she's so famous. There's a portion of the manosphere that is upset that this woman and other red pill women are starting to make more money off of their talking points than the actual men. That's the funny part. They complain that everything is a matriarchy or we live in a gynocentric society or whatever. And then when the men branch off to create their own crap, somehow a woman still climbs to the top. A white woman at that, in the Black man space. In the Black man space. I posted on my community tab about this as well. And one thing I said in my post was, you will never see a white man rise to the top, a white male content creator. You will never see a white male content creator rise to the top of anything to do with BWE. Divesting content, swirling content, um, femininity for Black woman content, soft life content. You will never see a white man rise to the top of that. Even if it's a channel where all they do is bash Black men, a white male content creator will never rise to that. But really, a white male content creator, period. Black women don't do that, and especially a white woman. Oh, girl, a white woman could never rise over here in the Black woman space. Obviously not. But even a fine white guy or like a fine Hispanic guy or even a fine non-black melanated man would still never rise to the top, because a lot of people are saying this white girl is rising to the top of the Black man space because she's considered a preference or a desirable. Well, over here in the Black woman space, safe to say a lot of Black women here prefer non-black men, and I highly doubt a non-black man would rise to the top of these spaces, because we as black women understand that even though we have desires and maybe preferences for non-black men, the non-black man does not understand what it means to be a black woman today, and we will never have him as our spokesperson. We'll have him as our partner, but not as our spokesperson. We will be our spokesperson and we will be our representative, and we will present ourselves to be the best version of ourselves to the world when we do so. Period. But obviously, the men in the black men space do not understand this. They do not understand this. And I'm going to show you guys a clip of a video because, um, I also did a video on Hafeez from the roommates, and he's also been going through the ringer um, of red pill guys because I guess he's changing his rhetoric to be more blue pill or to like advocate for marriage a little bit more, and the men don't like that. They don't like that. Now, when I first came across Hafeez, this was before Kevin Samuels went viral, I guess, and he was doing his podcast with that light skinned dude, and they would like interview people for, inspiration and stuff like that. Like they interviewed the guy who wrote 48 Laws of Power. They interviewed Rebecca Lynn Pope. They did an interview with Candace Owens, um, with some other men. I think they also did Jordan Peterson at some point. I don't know, but they were not talking about relationships. Like they were talking about success and navigating uh, different obstacles of life or whatever. They weren't about relationships and submission and all this other crap. But now they made that transition, and they did that, and now it seems like Hafiz is breaking off into his own thing. I think he still is in the roommates, but he's definitely, watering his own platform, his own name, and he's becoming what the guys are saying, more blue pill and advocating for marriage because he himself just got married. He's only been married for a year. Um, and he's a traditional man. He's a Christian man. He also comes from a two-parent home as well. His parents have been married for like almost 40 years, he says. And so he advocates for marriage. He does believe that you can have a good marriage, and you can have a marriage where you guys don't get tired of each other after a certain amount of years, where you can be married, stay married, be in love, literally till death do you part. And he believes that, and that's what he's trying to tell men, that it is possible to have good outcomes with relationships and with women. And the men are literally crucifying him for saying this, and that's why he calls them nihilistic and calls them like these, really like these black pillars who just believe nothing is possible, and that the reality into these red pill guys, that reality to them is that everything is more possible like to fail, instead of a reality being you can succeed in this. Like red pill guys, I guess, don't want to hear that you can have a woman and treat her right, and have a successful relationship. Instead, red pill guys want to hear that women are the problem, and you're doomed and the system is out to get you or whatever. But let me play this clip for you guys because Hafiz makes a very good point on red pill women and the benefits that they bring to this space or the negatives. So I'm going to let you guys listen to this.
The conversation, I'm really excited. I hope you have a lot of time today because I really want to dive into everything that you want to go to.
Yeah.
Here is, I'm being honest with you, bro. Here is my only criticism of female content creators such as yourself.
Okay.
If I'm being 100% honest with you, I don't want to ever say anything behind your back, which I won't say to your face. I feel like you guys are pandering. I feel like you guys are pandering to a certain community of men who freaking like, it's like it's Pornhub, OnlyFans, red pill female content creators are all that gets them going. That gets them excited, right? So I personally
really on the same OnlyFans.
No, I didn't say no.
Okay,
no.
I'm slightly
Pornhub,
below it.
slightly.
Wow. Thank God.
You can't compete with them. I'm sorry. You can't compete with them.
Okay. So wait. So the OnlyFans.
No, the Pornhub is number
that's
one.
That's a 10. Like on like one to like
yes.
and
10.
then where do the OnlyFans?
depending on what she's doing on OnlyFans, it can go for anywhere from 9.5 to 8.
Okay, so let's do 8. So then where do we fall?
I would say the men love your content so much, it'd probably be about 7.
Oh my God, did y'all hear him? Maya says he's right. He is right, ladies. He is right. These red pill women, what he is saying is, you make men feel the same type of emotions that men experience when they watch porn and OnlyFans. Red pill women give them that same type of emotional, you know, response. That type of emotional response. They have the same emotional response to red pill women that they do with watching porn and OnlyFans. Right? He says the only difference is y'all aren't on YouTube buck naked. But at the end of the day, you're telling men what they want to hear. You're making them feel good and validated, and you're giving them something that they're not receiving in their actual life, which is usually what men get when they watch porn and OnlyFans, whether they're in relationships or not while doing so. Right? So, it's just really interesting. These red pill women swear they're on the man's side. They believe that they're doing a justice for men, but a lot of guys consider them panderers who are in it for the bag, who are basically doing nothing different than a porn star would.
A 7?
Yeah,
okay.
about a 7.
Okay. So you said pandering, so you think I don't actually believe any of this?
No.
Because that's when I hear pandering, I look that up because people say that a lot.
Yeah.
And it basically means you just say things because you don't believe it and you just want the.
So if
Yes, the low key Pearly. That's exactly what he's saying. Maybe not Hafeez in this conversation, but plenty of men, yes, they don't believe that you as a woman advocating for the man's plight really understand and believe what you're even saying as a red pill woman, and they are not convinced. You know why they're not convinced? Because you're not a man. You are a human female. Your brain is not wired to understand the things that a man goes through in this world, just like he's not wired to understand the things that a woman goes through mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and what have you. And a man will never understand that. That's why there's no channels. That's why there's no channels where uh, women content creators are talking about the woman's plight with a majority of a man's audience. If you are a woman strictly talking about the woman's plight or women's issues, your audience is women. Your audience are not men. Because men don't understand it. A lot of men would even think it's a joke. A lot of men would even think that women don't have a hard time. They're not going to understand it. And guess what? They're not meant to. They're not supposed to. They're men. They'll never understand the hard times of being a woman through childbirth, being pregnant, emotional, hormonal, nothing like that. Nothing like that. It wouldn't make any sense. There are content creators, there are women content creators who are married and preaching about being traditional and being feminine, and they are doing it in a way where they don't have to speak from a man's perspective. They don't have to speak from a man's brain and a man's logic. They're doing it from a woman's logic. And guess what? Majority of their audience are women. Women don't like to watch stuff about the man's plight because we are not men. We're not supposed to understand why the negative things that happen with men in terms of we're not supposed to understand their emotional process for men because we're not men. Now, does that mean we wish harm onto men? No. Does that mean we don't give a damn what men go through? No. But that means that we're not going to be the spokesperson for them either. Why would we be? Make that make sense. How can a woman really and truly and genuinely be invested in a man's plight more than a man? It doesn't happen. That's why these men are saying you're a panderer, you're fake because you're a woman. I'm a man. You don't really understand why us men say the things we say, why we think the way we think. The best thing as a woman that you can do, like to navigate men, is to just have boundaries, vet, have standards, listen to men, believe them when they do the things that they do, but you don't need to sit here and understand them and like try to uh like really be out here being like, I understand you, Tommy. I know what you're going through, Tommy, as a man. I know what your struggles are. No, you don't, crazy woman. You'll never be a patriarch. You'll never understand the burden that manhood brings because you're not a man. And you're not supposed to understand that. And I don't know why we're living in a time where it's also seems that there's a lot of men who are shaming women for not understanding their plight. And they don't want to consider the fact that women are incapable of truly understanding your plight. Real women are not going to get on here, like real feminine women and traditional minded women are not going to get on here and start YouTube channels talking from a man's perspective and then saying, oh, I'm trying to help the woman out. You're not trying to help the woman out if you're constantly talking like a man. You're not. You're not. You're better off helping women out by telling them which type of men to go for and which type of men to avoid, how to be like if you're trying to be a wife, you're better off telling women how to be a wife instead of what you need to look like for what men are attracted to make you a wife. Like I don't think red pill woman telling you you need to be a dress size 6 and get your hair and nails done, that's not telling you how to be a wife. All right? That's not telling you how to be a freaking wife. You need to listen to an actual wife, number one. That's who you need to listen to. You need to listen to an actual wife. And then this actual wife will really tell you what you need to do. Because she's actually a wife. All of these red pill women are single. They're single as I don't know what. They don't have a man. They're obviously not very desirable because they have a bunch of men watching them from who knows where. And you're telling me not one of these men have asked you out, like not one of these men have hit you up trying to be like, I watch your channel. I think you're an amazing woman. Do you want to go out? Do you want to do something? Like, I don't know. I know it's weird. I know a lot of people don't want to meet other folks online, and I know it could be weird and even dangerous, but I'm saying like these guys aren't trying to even marry these red pill women. They're still single. If they really believed what they believe, if they're very genuine, they wouldn't be single. Fact, just period. Considering how many men think that they're right on point and that these red pill women get it. If they're so genuine and they understand it so much, why are they still single? The women that I see who are actually married, they're women who are speaking from a woman's mind. They're speaking from a woman's perspective, talking to other women. They're not speaking about men. Okay? They're not talking about men's issues and what men need to do. They're not dedicating their time to that.
I want to clarify. I said if I said, because memory's a bad recollection at time. If I said you are pandering, I was wrong.
Okay.
I feel like at times content creators, I didn't say you.
Okay.
Content creators like those pander.
Well, there's only a couple in the space, in the red pill space, that are women. I
Okay,
would say,
so it's not about red pill though.
Yeah. Okay.
So to me, let me give you an example.
Okay.
I genuinely believe that there is a lot of nuance to your ideas. I genuinely do not believe you share all your nuance online. I genuinely believe you're an extremely smart content creator. I genuinely believe you understand what gets clicks, views, X, Y, and Z. I genuinely believe that you're an individual who's very calculating what you say and what you do. So therefore,
I was coached by you.
Listen. That's why it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart.
It breaks your heart.
It really does. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Why?
Because first we had an A session. You weren't coached by me.
I know.
We had A session. I can't put my stamp on that.
Hafeez, I'm kidding.
I can't put my stamp on that. We having fun. We just having fun, all right? So my belief is that deep down inside, I feel like you're a woman. How in the world do you believe everything a man believes? You should have nuanced positions.
that? Did you? I believe Hafeez is just trying to be nice, but he's right. He's like, how are you as a woman really believing the things that you're saying? It's impossible. You're not a man. You're not one of us. This is why I also think red pill women, they're not very dateable. Like men that watch red pill women can find them attractive, but I don't believe deep down that they would want to wife a woman like that up because they present themselves in this manner. They present themselves to be one of the guys. They present themselves to be like, I understand the man. I can talk to women to help other women too. Like, and Hafiz is saying, girl, no, you cannot. You can't. You absolutely cannot do so. Right? So, it's just really funny how these red pill women swear they have men's best interests at heart. No, you do not. You don't even know the half of what it is they're really talking about.
That's the beauty of the masculine feminine, where there's similarities and there's differences. So when I hear a logical woman, I definitely expect to hear her to communicate things that the logical male and female understands. But I also expect, because she's a feminine individual, and you believe men and women are different. So therefore, if men and women are different and both of them are communicating their ideas, there's going to be differences and nuances to their ideas. And so therefore, whenever I see, not saying you, remember I told you this, I don't watch a lot of your content, so I don't know it. But whenever I see those pro male, female content creators, and I see like they always have the same male talking points, and there's no uniquely feminine talking points that men won't agree with, but she stands in that because she is a woman and her ideas are different. Sometimes I wonder, is this person fully communicating how they feel, or are they at times pandering? Because they understand that by communicating this way to this audience, I'm able to do better. Not saying you're doing so. I don't want you to get mad at me, bro. I don't know your intention. I don't know you. I'm just communicating. So when you brought up do you want to respond to that? I was leading to the wife school point.
Oh, to the wife school.
Yeah, I was leading to that
was just gonna say that I think it's more having like a father presence in our lives, most of us.
What about your
mom? What do you mean? What about my mom?
Do you have a motherly presence as well?
Yeah, I did. Shout out Jen.
So now she's, going to talk about having a father and all that other crap and saying, that her father's presence or a lack thereof. Basically, what I believe she's about to say is that um, her father's influence was stronger than her mother's influence, which is why she believes she can speak about, the plight of men and speak for men in general. But even that is strange. Even that is strange, in my opinion.
No respect. That's a white girl stuff. Boy, I call Mama Jen. Girl, what the heck?
No. I mean, it's like I don't know. It's funny because I would say naturally, if I take a personality test, it says I'm very left. It says I'm very liberal. So a lot of people think I'm more like left when they first meet me. But like my dad was just always there to like dispel everything. He doesn't believe in the voting thing though. He thinks I took that too far.
Shout out, Pop. And I'm not picking on you. Let me, because you made the wife school. I truly believe women like you. This is why I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to say this to you personally. I want to do it off camera. I want to say it to you personally because I think it's make great content. Women like you have the power to change everything. You made a point in this. You said you believe women can make a change. I truly believe you are so correct. Women such as yourself wield so much power to make a true lasting change in this society. Women such as yourself have so much power and ability to make a true lasting change in this world.
Yeah, I agree.
And so to me, my biggest thing is that I want women such as yourself living out your full potential and your full skill sets to be able to truly transform the world. And so to me, when you made the wife school reference, I was like, man, I wanted to.
Yeah, they were talking about a wife school type of thing earlier. But yeah, it makes total sense to have a woman who's never been married, who knows how many relationships, that's also me too to black man. It makes total sense to have her be the one to start a wife school. Yeah. It makes total sense. And I think Hafeez makes good points, but I also see him kind of double tracking, like double backing his going back on his words to save face, because he said in the beginning that he believes she's pandering and that, she's right up there with OnlyFans and, sex workers on film. And then goes on to say, "Oh, but women like you have the power to make a lot of change." But you just called her fake, and you just called her, a woman that's using men for money. But then in the next breath, you say that women like her can do a lot of change. Like what? Like absolutely not. Gwen says he called her out on it. He asked, "Are you a wife?" Yes, this is what a lot of women in this space, in this red pill space, need to be asked. I'm not married. I'm pro marriage for single women wanting to get married, but I don't give advice to women on how to handle their marriage. I'm not married, and I also don't give advice on how you should raise kids. I don't have any children. If anything, I talk about dating. I talk about mindset of a woman, married, single, a mom. Like we're still women at the end of the day, and there's a lot of commonalities and thought processes we still have in common, and that's the center of my channel. You will never see me up here talking about what you need to do when you're married. And I've never been married myself. And that's really a lot of other Black women creators who aren't married yet. They don't talk about how to be a wife, right? We don't put that image out there. If anything, we talk about in general the best, methods and or ways for Black women to get what they want, and we discuss it together. We share experiences together, and then the women who are married are also in this space and they share their take as well. Like we're not we're not out here being something that we technically aren't, or trying to claim something that we're not. So let me show you guys this other video, because this one I think was really this is another stream I watched. This is another stream I watched the other day. I know you guys know her. I had her on my channel the last stream. Right, like who's going to her wife's school? Like give me a break. Really? These people on here, a lot of these people on here are delusional. But I'm going to play this video for you guys because I thought this video, once it goes on further, I thought it was very interesting. Now, you guys know, some of you guys at least know of Chantelle Simone. I had her in my last stream where, again, another Black man was questioning her on why is she a red pill type of woman? Why does she make content that makes women look stupid, and then say that you're trying to teach us something from that? And he told her that she should make content um, that has to do with being an actual woman. Like that doesn't have to do with men in any way, shape, or form, where you're speaking for men and you're trying to be logical and one of the boys and trying to believe you can portray that message correctly to women. He was telling her, create a channel that is truly about femininity and being a woman, where you are not trying to logically explain relationships like these guys, because that's just not your place. So let me play this.
I'll take you stealing my ass back. I take that over some aggressive shit. But we are joined by Patriarchy Strikes Back. Shout out to you. Do appreciate you coming through. Always love your perspective. So go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Now hold on. Before I play this guy is called Patriarchy Strikes Back. I don't know if you ladies have been on Clubhouse, and he hasn't confirmed this himself, but I'm pretty sure this is the same guy that would cause a ruckus on Clubhouse. He'd just be ready to flame up anybody that comes in his direction talking any kind of stuff. And he's definitely a troll, but I do believe his trolling kind of helps get to the root of a lot of stuff, and I don't want to say exposed, but his trolling is also done in a way where people show their true selves. Um, but this Patriarchy Strikes Back guy, I wouldn't say he's a manosphere content creator. I think he's tried, but he's way too aggressive when he comes on these panels. But I want y'all to listen to how he interacts with Chantelle, because he does a lot of exposing as to why red pill women don't benefit from this space at all.
You got on this.
I gotta ask you a question. Do you trust these people? Like these like, do you trust these women that have all of a sudden, found their femininity and they're at the bottom of their purse? You trust this stuff, Bernard?
What do you mean by trusted? Trusted to do what?
Like, we know that there's trends and phases, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know that there's trends. And the new trend is femininity role play, right? Like, to me, it's like the new version of BDSM. Like, oh yeah, I'm a feminine woman. Instead of this doesn't seem like a little off to you, a little fake to you at all?
I'm not trying to fuck her. This is
No,
just
but I'm just saying,
conversation. It's content.
but okay. So
So
then
he asked me, do I trust her? I mean, I trust my woman that I'm with.
do you think,
I trust my woman that I'm with that demonstrates the shit to me daily. What Chantelle does in her personal life, I don't fucking know. We're two content creators having a collaborative conversation about a topic.
I got you. But is content creation femininity? Is that like it? Like, because I think they should be quiet, right? Like, if you want to be a real, I think that you should be quiet. And I think.
So, yeah, guys, this guy, Patriarchy Strikes Back, he has some pretty, like, his views are just different. I'm not even about to touch on it. But he does ask the question, like, can you trust these types of women that are on here being like, I'm feminine and all this stuff? And he's specifically talking about red pill women, because the type of women that are in BWE that talk about marriage, or wanting to live a soft life, hypergamy, wanting a provider husband, we don't show up like a red pill woman. Obviously, like, we show up in a way where we can self-improve and do things that are going to benefit not only us, but if we have children in the future, and how we can take care of our future families. Like, we're not trying to claim, wake up one day and say, I'm this perfect feminine woman. Like, that's not how Black women over here act. That's really how these red pill women act, in my opinion. From the content that they do, that's just how they act. Like, they put on a cloak of, I've changed and I've evolved, to pander to men that are looking for that changed and or evolved woman. Women in the BWE space don't attract men over here, because we're not with that fakeness. Like, we understand we're going through a journey. We understand that there's still mistakes being made. We understand that we're trying to learn. Like, the things that Paris Milan posts, the things that Chrissy will post, the things that Pink Pill have posted, like, those are all things that include mistakes. They include discussion and analyzing things. Like, we're not coming on here, Black women content creators are not coming on here to be perfect, to be this perfect example, right? We have real serious discussions about what's going on. We're not with the fake stuff. Yes, and Yanni does a really good job at dissecting and breaking down what Black women are actually doing in real life, without putting on this cloak of perfect feminine ideals like these red pill women are.
That's what my Bible tells me. But like, all these women now coming in with this role play stuff, it doesn't seem just a little fake to you at all? Like, at all?
I've actually talked about that, and I've said that yes.
Okay.
It's some of them that I think are more legit than others. It's some of them that I think actually believe the shit that they're saying. It's some of them that I think are opportunists. It varies from individual to individual. So yeah. So I mean, I understand where you're going, and I've done a lot of streams criticizing it, and I have my views on it. I actually have my views on men who go to female channels
and listen to them.
Yeah. No, I have.
You a man listening to some woman?
Hold on. I have my views on that. but also the market is what the market is, and I can't change the market. And I just,
of course,
I would cross that line of being a hater if I just
Yeah.
sat there and did stream. Like there's people that do that, do stream after stream after stream of criticizing female content creators for doing content on ideas and concepts
Well,
that
it's not-
they
it's not
probably
feminine.
believe.
It's
So
not. It's but
I've made the same point too, that if a woman,
Okay.
if her content, like there's some, I don't see Chantelle actually doing this, but there's some that they talk about femininity, but they have an aggressive, argumentative tone. And I said that she's not a feminine woman, and she's actually pretty combative. She's just batting for us, so we good with it. I've made all those points, so you ain't this, like, so I'm with it. I understand where you're going. Understand where you're going.
it's the new version of the rap game. It's the new version. They're doing to this space what they've done to every other space, right? So, for example, with the rap game, right? NWA laid the groundwork. NWA was banned on the radio. NWA was ostracized by society. So, men do the work, right? And then after all the work is done, of course, women don't come into any space beating their chests and telling you their true intentions. What they'll do is they'll play a soft role. And now, in while men like Ludacris will have their sponsors taken from them because their content is too explicit, a woman will be able to come in like Cardi B and get those same sponsorships saying things that are 10 times worse.
So, I mean, Teresa says, although I think he's frustrated, he exposes the foolishness of this femininity push. Yeah, I agree. You know, he can be a troll, to be honest. If you've watched this guy on a lot of streams, he pops up on streams here and there, but I can't sit here and say he's incorrect. There are women that will take a man's talking points, put lipstick on it, and make money off of it, when men were the one who came up with these talking points, right? And he said also that a man listening to a woman talk about the man's plight, I agree with that. Why? I said earlier in this live, as a woman, you shouldn't be talking about a man's plight to a bunch of random men on the internet that you don't know, that you have no real connection to, that definitely don't have any real connection with you, definitely aren't trying to get with you in any kind of way, but you believe that you're qualified to talk for them. And I think he's right on that point. I don't think that it is smart for men to listen to these red pill women. And it's definitely not smart for these women to want to take up the, cross of being red pill and try to speak and preach about it. Right. And just look at how they're even look at Chantelle. She's just sitting there soaking all of this up, and they're just indirectly talking trash about her and what she does on her channel. And she's just sitting there letting it fly. Like, it's her facial expression is like she just doesn't care, and she should care, because the things that she uses, the talking points she uses on her channel, these guys created first, or these guys really live and think this way more than she does. She's just repeating it. She's just a content creator. She's not, like, she never has to deal with what men have to deal with if they go through a divorce, if they become fathers, if they, have to put their lives on the line for their women and children. Chantelle and these red pill women will never have to pick up that role because they're not men. So he's right. Why would they listen to you? Why would they listen to you? You will never pick up the role that they will have to pick up when it comes down to it. Okay? You'll never be a husband. So why should they listen to you on what listen to you regarding what husbands go through? You are a human female. You are a black woman. Right? Like, that just goes to show what Hafeez said earlier. These women are equivalent to OnlyFans and porn stars, because that's the only reason why men are listening to them. They make them feel good. But at the end of the day, you're not a man. You can't talk about what they go through for real. So this guy, Patriarchy Strikes Back, is really out here like, why are men listening to this woman about manhood and what needs to happen, and just in general regarding how men feel?
So for me, it's like it's all like it's it's the new, it's like BDSM, except instead of them wearing black leather with a paddle, they'll wear house on the prairie dresses, right? Little house on the prairie dresses, and say, oh, I'm trad role play. Is this feminine enough for you? Oh, my plan. Oh, I'm a submissive woman. I'll submit to you all night long. Like there's no difference from them and the women in the strip club. Like you're all the same. And I think that that's how men should view them. They're all the same. There's no difference. If they get in a bad spot, they're throwing you under the bus faster than anybody else.
All right, Chantelle, would you like to respond to that?
I mean, I respect his perspective. I think everybody has, as the right to their own opinion. In terms of trust me, I wouldn't really, if you guys don't want to trust me, just don't trust me. I think it's really that simple. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, just don't watch my video. I said at the beginning of all my videos that when I was 25, I had an option to either go back to school and get my master's degree or prioritize dating and relationship. Unfortunately, I chose my master's degree. So I use my channel to be as transparent as possible. So someone who that's 25 can at least have the knowledge to like, hey, there's an alternative option.
I'm sorry, this girl Chantelle, like she has a horrible message for women. Like she's really sitting on here trying to tell young girls to not get a master's degree because you'll miss out on a husband. Meanwhile, lots of women that have master's degree are married. Lots of them. The stats actually will tell you that the more educated you are as a woman, no matter your race, the most likely you are to be married. White women that have their degrees and masters and PhDs, they get married. The wives of Fortune 500 companies, they're not a bunch of 21-year-old bimbos that are secretaries. Those women who are the wives of men who are the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, they have accomplishments. They have their degree. They're educated. They're not dumb. Dumb men want dumb women. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude and call people dumb or whatever. It's just a case. And I'm not saying if you don't have a degree you're dumb. I'm just saying like the way that the men are explaining it, they're explaining it like a woman who has a degree is a red flag or whatever. And that's not a red flag. That's not a red flag. And if you don't have your degree, you're fine. You can still obviously get married if you don't have your degree. But this talking point that women who are educated made a mistake and should have instead tried to get a husband instead of their degree, because I guess men today at the ages of 18 to 22, they're not they're not out here getting married. The average age of people that marry are between the ages of 27 to like 33, no matter your race, for both men and women. So this weird like ideology that they want young women to not go to college and instead get married, and then they want you to get married to men who are significantly older, that's not happening in real life. And age gap relationships, nothing wrong if you want to date an older man. But what I'm telling you is, regardless of how you feel, if you're a 21-year-old girl and you want to get with a 40-year-old man, your marriage, and you want to marry him, your marriage, according to the data, according to the stats, not my opinion, according to the stats, is the least likely to succeed. Okay, you're the least likely to succeed. You're better off as a 21-year-old girl who wants to get married. You're better off marrying a guy within your age group, at least 5 to 6 years of your age, if you want a successful marriage. Like people aren't getting married to others who are like 15 years apart. That's not happening in reality. So I would never intentionally seek out an age gap relationship. If it works out, it works out, but it would never be my intention.
Prioritize dating and relationships if you want to be married by a certain age. That's really all I do. So
Where are you from? Are you Jamaican?
Yeah, I'm Jamaican.
Or you live in America or
I live in America, yeah.
But you weren't born here?
No, I was born and raised in Jamaica, 15 years.
Interesting. And you went to get your master's degree?
Yes.
In what? Did you major in psychology or something? Something that has to do with talking?
No, my bachelor's degree is in sociology. My master's degree is in business administration.
Talking and ideas, right?
I,
Sociology.
yeah, well, sociology, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's like basket weaving,
Okay.
liberal arts. And that's
Yeah.
what I talk about on my channel too. You know, I say if you're gonna go to school, make sure you go to school to get a degree that's like you can do something with. A lot of times, myself included, you know, in my master's degree, I have a lot of student loan debt that I'm just sitting on because I know when
No,
I have kids, I don't want to, you know,
not you.
I know when I have kids, I don't want to work to pay significant bills, as Kevin Samuels will say. So I wish I had thought about things through strategically, like why go to school and get in student loan debts if you know you don't want to use your degree. So that's why I say I use my channel to be as transparent as possible.
Gotcha.
I made the mistakes, and honestly, if I had heard like a chantelle when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have went to get my master's degree. It's a completely useless degree, and we all know that sociology degree is as equally, if not more, useless.
It's useless to you, Chantel, because you believe that a man is going to choose you based off of your economic status. If you believed a man was going to marry you, master's degree or not, you wouldn't be saying that about the work that you did, the late nights you stayed up and studied for. You wouldn't be on here saying it was all worthless because a man's not going to marry me, or now I'm going to have a harder time finding a man. Real traditional men, I'm not saying they're going to, no, they're not gonna look at your master's degree and be like, you're gonna be a perfect wife because you have a master's. But they're not gonna also say, oh my gosh, you have a master's, ugh, you're not for me. Like, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna look at who you are as a woman. Um, you know, basically how other people just get together. Your masters, and if you went to school or not, or if you had a degree or not, that's not going to hold weight. So these talking points that getting a master's is a negative thing, it's a waste of time, and it's going to make it harder, quote unquote, harder for you to find a husband, it's just not true. You're either going to find your mate or you're not. And usually, if you don't, it's more so if you want to have a reason, because there's never going to be an absolute reason, right? There's so many situations in life that can happen. But if we want to choose an absolute reason, a lot of women that don't end up with husbands, maybe it could be a fact that you get into your own way, which is why in the BWE space we talk about boundaries and standards and opening up your options. Because when you don't do those things, you are setting yourself up to be by yourself. When you don't want to open up your options, when you don't want to have higher standards and actually deal with men that meet them, right? And you do not have to end up by yourself if you want a marriage, master's degree or not. It's really about how you're moving as a woman. So if she wants to blame her master's degree, oh, that's why I don't have a husband, that's not why you have a husband, Chantel. You don't have a husband because you probably didn't have the best standards, the boundaries, and she definitely isn't open to dating other races of men. That's also a big kicker. She's not open to dating other races of men. That honestly, I think a woman has a lot more options for a relationship, a black woman in particular, when she opens herself up. That's just what I think. Like, once I started dating out, it was so easy for me to get in a relationship compared to when I was only dating black men. It was talking stage after freaking talking stage, and it would just go nowhere, and I was always left, on my own, because I was only trying to date one type of guy, when instead I knew I was attracted to other races of men. There are attractive non-black men, but I wouldn't take them seriously. Once I finally did, now I'm in a whole relationship. Now I was actually starting to attract men that treated me correctly and took me seriously, because a lot of these black men, I'm sorry, a lot of them, not going to say all, a lot of them tend to not take relationships very seriously, especially marriage. They come from single mother homes. There is a black male culture of, having hoes, uh the rap game, the gangsta, this, get my Glock, my AK-47. I don't know. There's like a whole culture that is just anti black men and family, that a lot of black men subscribe to, and it does manifest in their real life. And unfortunately, a lot of black women suffer because of it when it comes to their desires to be with a black man long term.
Than my master's degree. So Yeah, I mean, I volunteer as tribute. I made all the stupid mistakes. I did it.
So
all right, real quick. David Richardson with the $5 super chat, he says, as blacks, we claim to what the fuck? This ain't even on top. Okay, we claim to hate racism, but we run down on a dude about his race when he calls in. Disgusting. Oh, the chat room is criticizing you about your race. Okay, all right. That was, I gotta read super chats before I click on them. But anyway, all right, go ahead, patriarchy. And the link is in the chat for somebody else that want to come up.
so let me get this straight. So you came over to America, right? You went to college, and then you got a degree, and you have student loan debt. That's very feminine. If that's not resting in your femininity, I don't know what is.
But what's feminine?
Everything, your entire life.
I wouldn't say it's
Coming
feminine.
to America, I think you're a great example. I think you're a great example to all women.
I think he's trolling her here, but I don't know.
No, I disagree,
like
sir.
are you being sarcastic?
Wait, yeah,
hold on. Let's just make sure we understand. That's sarcasm. You're criticizing her past decisions, in other words.
I mean, I've just never heard it before. I've never heard of a woman coming to the United States and, you know, getting a degree and then getting a master's degree and then getting in student loan debt and then starting a channel telling people not to do what she did. I've just never heard this before. It's really unique.
Oh, thank you. I'm on
it. I swear, this guy. I think it was really trolling her in that moment, but I guess I can see what he's saying. He's like, if you were really about what you were saying and you were genuine, and you were really taught correctly, and you were, you know, in the position where you can teach other Black women how to become a wife, you wouldn't have even, you know, decided to get your master's in the first place. Like, I think what he's saying is like, you did all of that because you were so deep into the belief that you needed to have this master's to provide for yourself and all these things. And now all of a sudden you can just wake up and decide that you can teach women how to become a wife, and you're not married yourself. You're not from the United States either. Like, he's bringing up all these points, right? And, you know, I think one of you ladies said in the chat that, you know, women can wake up and change just like men can. And I absolutely do agree with that. But I don't believe that change can happen overnight. I do think that change takes time. And earlier, he did say that, you know, women can just wake up and say that they're feminine and all these things. And so I think through his little trolling that he's doing right now, he's trying to prove that Chantelle does meet the description of a woman who went through all of those years of trying to be Miss Independent boss chick, and then all of a sudden one day decided to wake up and say, okay, I want to be a housewife. Now that her quote unquote damage, what these guys would consider damage, is done with having her master's and student loan debt, because she says she has debt from that too. And then she wants to get on here and, you know, tell women that, you know, tell women how they can become a wife and how they can be more feminine, even though her channel has nothing about femininity. It just has all things you shouldn't do. You know, if you want to get a guy, which you don't have to be. That has nothing to do with femininity in its total like definition of it.
Honestly, don't know if you're giving me a compliment or not, but as I said, I didn't have a choice if I was to come to America or not. I was 15. My parents moved, so I moved with them. Going to school.
No, I'm just saying it's a great story.
But no, you said it's very feminine. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's feminine.
Think you're. Oh, it's not.
I don't think. Are you being sarcastic? I'm still sorry.
You're saying
maybe you hold on real quick. Let me try to put the train on the tracks here. Maybe you missed the beginning of the show where like she laid out and said that what she did in retrospect makes no sense. She admitted that. She basically said that she was low-key on some, didn't realize it, but was kind of on some sisterhood shit, and just her whole thought process. You know, she said that. It is like,
I think it's a great story. I think it'll make great lifetime. I would watch it. Coming to America, getting your education, getting in debt, and then starting a YouTube channel and spreading your gospel throughout the world.
Oh, God.
I think it's a great story. Spreading the gospel of femininity.
Wow.
All right.
Let me clarify in case any young.
Oh my God. Oh boy. Yeah, he really trolled her. But I do see his point. This is why men don't believe these kinds of women. This is why these men are considering them panderers, because they have this entire like lifestyle going against the grain of red pill, and then come across the red pill content and then believe that they can, have a wake up and talk to men. Now, women do change, right? Women have had this experience as well. They thought that they wanted to work for themselves and be the boss or whatever. And then they realized, well, actually, I want a family. I want to provide. I want to stay home. But those women don't go on and start red pill channels. Okay. They don't go on and start talking to a bunch of guys and trying to discuss the guy's plight and trying to discuss from a man's perspective why that was bad. If anything, you do have women that are like Chantelle and are trying to tell young girls that you should seek marriage in your early adulthood instead of when you're like 40 or whatever. But at the end of the day, me personally, hey, do whatever works for you, whatever season you're in. That's what's important. But there are women that have this type of wake up type of thing go on, but they go and cling to other women. They don't go and cling to men. That's why a lot of these guys are seeing her as fake and fraudulent. Because if you were really about waking up, if you were really about changing, you would go to the women who are currently doing what you want. Like you would be going to the women who are living the reality that you have quote unquote woken up to now wanting. The fact that you're trying to get with a group of people, aka men, that you're never going to be able to relate to like that because you're not a man, you don't seem like you truly are about changing, because the men are like, we can't tell you, even though there are men that attempt to tell women how to be a wife. The real nut of it is only a wife can teach another woman how to be a wife. And so the guys are like, if you're really about trying to be a wife and trying to make this change, you need to have a platform and go to other platforms and attract other platforms that are, full of women trying to do the same thing. We don't believe you're truly woken up and trying to change because you're not in the proper spaces where you can really learn how to manifest that life that you want and how to, get that life that you desire of being a housewife and a stay at home mom, and just in general learning how to be a wife, whether you want to stay home or not. Chantel's content does not tell you how to date to be a wife. It tells you just what not to do. And then it's telling you this for like why the men believe it's not okay. She doesn't have content telling you why women who are actually a wife are telling you it's not okay to do what she did, right? Like you need to go to women for these answers. Like stop repeating male talking points and go and see what the women who are actually married are saying, what their talking points are. And if anything, repeat that so that you can reach more younger women. It's better to repeat an actual wife's talking points than a single red pill man talking points if you're trying to make young girls get ready to get married and to become wives. Like that's what I think his little trolling and all this is. That's what he's really trying to say. Like you're not real about what you're saying, what you're trying to do.
Young girls are listening. What I did is not feminine. My past self was not feminine. So going to school and getting a master's degree that's useless, I wouldn't say that is feminine. I don't know if you're being sarcastic. I really don't know. But just to add to what you're saying, in case anybody is listening, prioritize dating and relationship. Learn how to be a wife before putting your education and your career.
How did you learn how to be a wife?
I'm currently learning. I think learning how to
So
be
you
a wife
still
is
haven't
something.
learned yet.
No, that's why I say I'm currently learning. I think it's something that you were raised to be. I think there are some skills that as a young girl, if your mom or your grandmom was to teach you how to submit, how to serve a man.
So it seems like he's trying to point out that he's trying to like kind of, I don't want to say expose, but kind of bring to light that she is on here having a channel claiming to trying to talk to women, even though she said in other streams that majority of her viewers are men, that she estimates out of her 40,000 um, viewers or subscribers, she has like 32,000 men subscribed and only 8,000 women subscribed. So she claims that she's trying to teach women how to get ready to be a wife, or at least how to, set themselves up to become a wife. But she herself just admitted that she wasn't raised to be one, that she, she's also not currently married now. It's okay if you weren't raised to be a wife, but if you are talking about being a wife and you are currently married, then that's okay too. But she's not currently married. She wasn't raised to be a wife. Majority of the people that watch her channel are men. But yet she's saying all of these things like, I want to stay home and I've made these mistakes and I want to be a wife. That's okay to want those things, but the way you're going about it is flawed and incorrect, and it's not going to set you up to actually meet and accomplish those things you desire. It just is what it is. It is what it is. And I think that's what he's trying to get her to trying to get, I guess, other people to see. Like, he's asking her, were you raised to be a wife? She's like, no, I'm still learning. But yes, she has this channel trying to help other women get there. But it just kind of all makes sense now. She wasn't raised to be a wife. That's why her channel is not, as a single woman at least, her channel is not dedicated to teaching women how to get there in their single season and what they need to be doing. It's all about what men think on her channel and how men view things, and trying to, believing that she can push this message out to young girls. And it's like, no, that's not how young girls receive those types of. Young girls aren't going to learn how to get ready to be a wife from looking at Black women in bonnets that are 300 freaking pounds. It's just not it.
Hold that, the men eat first before. Those are skills that's wired in you as a child. Unfortunately, too many of us as Black women, we were taught, to be strong, independent. So I'm still deprogramming my mind. I have accepted the reality that there is a possibility I may never get married, only because of how my upbringing was. So that's why I share my story, so young girls don't have to repeat my mistakes, right?
You will get married, please. Like, don't listen. You will. There are so many stupid men in America that would just love to take on your student loan debt.
Okay, I'm just saying, I've accepted the possibility that I may never get married.
You're gonna get married.
I want to say what I'm saying.
All right, we're gonna thank you, patriarchy. We're gonna move on to Pablo.
Woo, okay. Wow, that last statement he told her, I wasn't expecting that. That was messed up. That was really rude. That was messed up, I'm not gonna lie. But hey, according to the men in that space, she and I've said this in the last stream, according to the men in the red pill space, she is the type of woman that a lot of them wouldn't want. So I think he's trying to shed light onto why you would make a channel using male talking points when they technically wouldn't want you, just knowing the things they know about you on paper. Right? I think it's, it is rude how he said that, but if that is how a lot of men in that red pill space think, then it's just like, again, to the question of my life, what do you gain from being a red pill woman? Because this is how these men think. You're trying to set up a channel to pander to them, to get them on your good side. Maybe you're doing it because you believe that they won't want you because of your situation. And you trying to do that lets them know that, they don't see you as genuine. They see you as a panderer. They see you as someone trying to get something out of them because you're not what they want. So you're not doing it because you have that type of validation from them. So they question why you're doing it. And if you really wanted to be a wife and be about that change, you would be in channels where, you're talking to and listening to actual wives, women that are actually married. You wouldn't be doing all this, right? So what do you guys think about this? I'm actually going to drop the link. Haven't heard from you guys in a while. I think I just dropped the link. And I want your ladies' opinion on this because I want your ladies' opinion on this because, black women in particular are trying to elevate. We've been doing that in this space. But there's a lot of black women who I do believe are listening to these red pill women um, over women who are telling you about how to be a wife, how to have standards and boundaries. Now, I personally don't like listening to, content creators that are just bashing men all day, like those types of quote unquote BWE channels. I like to listen to channels where there's actual healthy discussion going on. We're analyzing things, giving advice, and women are sharing their experiences. I don't really listen to the bashing black male channels as much as the, other channels. You know, let me see what you guys are saying. Gwen says, I think people should seek godly wisdom along with school if that's your path. I've seen many educated women who can't form sentences properly. I know many Christian women who are wives. Yes, absolutely. There is no absolutes. Like, you can be an educated woman with her master's and still get a husband. And you can, be a woman who doesn't have your degree, doesn't care to go back to school at all. Maybe instead you want to have your own business. Maybe you're a woman who has a lot of skills and you want to start that and you make your money from that, and you can still get married. Like, there are no absolutes. That's why these talking points and how Chantelle was saying she regrets getting her degree, like, you're getting a master's as a woman doesn't take you out the dating game. uh and then choosing to not getting a master's doesn't put you forth more into the dating game or behind. I think a lot of those things that could affect the dating game, even though at the end of the day it really doesn't matter. If someone likes you and they love you, they want to be with you, just period. You got debt, you got kids, just doesn't matter at the end of the day. You are who you are at the end of the day. The person is marrying you, and even though your kids and your debt are included in your marriage, they do not make up who you are as a human being. Like, you still have a personality, you still have, intellect and things about you that can attract a person, despite your situation. And if that person loves you enough, they'll marry you. Single moms get married all the time. Women who have debt get married all the time. Women who have degrees, PhDs get married all the time, and women who don't. Like, there are no absolutes. And if you're trying to base your worth off of if you have a degree or not, which is clearly what Chantel is doing, which is why she brings it up all the doggone time, then yeah, if you have that outlook about yourself, then yes, you might have a problem dating. Not because the market is saying you're unworthy, but because you believe you are. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Okay, let's welcome Sheree. Hey, Sheree.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. So tell me your thoughts on this.
Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to come up really quickly and say great live stream. Glad I was able to hop on.
Yes.
On my channel, one of the things that I try to encourage women to do is to get high level skills that you can do from home.
Mm,
Because a lot of women, and I understand this, you're 20 something years old, you do want to get married, you do want to stay at home with the children. Um, but we also know the other side of that, which is, life is not promised. I had a husband who passed, for example.
mm,
Some women have husbands who are financially abusive, or some husbands just can't carry the entire load of the house financially.
mhm,
But I do think that we as Black women should, if I were advising somebody, it's navigate your career so that you can figure out, okay, how do I set my life up and my career up so that I can do this skill, high level skill from home, or I can open up a business that I can work, part time from home. And I do that in preparation for, whenever you meet the husband that God has for you.
right.
So I just wanted to kind of come on and share that as a counterbalance to Chantel, and then I have something to say about Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Like, I know, based on our history, women weren't always allowed to vote or have property and have bank accounts without a husband, but it's technically never been illegal for a woman to have a skill that she
Hmm.
monetizes off of from her home while still being married and having children. That's never been illegal, and women have been doing that for centuries. I mean, you've had women who are dressmakers, you have women who are hairdressers, you've had women who have helped birth babies, and they've made money off of that a lot of the times, or even way, way back in the day, like bartered and got resources or something in exchange for their service. Rather, they were, yes, all while they were married
Yeah.
and had
And
kids.
and yeah, and
Hmm.
even Gwen in the chat was telling me that she helps her husband in his business. And I know a
Hmm.
lot of husband and wife duos where, he's out as the plumber or the roofer or whatever, and she's the one that does all the administrative tasks and gets the government contracts
Hmm.
and things like that. Those are very highly desirable skills as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
that a lot of women can leverage.
Yeah, and that was my grandmother when she was married to my grandfather. They stayed married until he passed for like over 40 years, and he had a business and she was the bookkeeper. So
Mhm.
that's very, very common for women to have skills that they can utilize within the home and still, make money. So this notion that you having accomplishments or, going to school for those types of skills to perfect that skill is a negative in the dating game. I don't think so. You can use those accomplishments within your home to your family. Like, women have been making money since just since money was created. Okay. Like, there's never been a
Right.
time where that was illegal for women to have skills and make money. That's never been illegal. Maybe having a bank account, maybe getting property by yourself, but making money and having cash, coins and stuff for that's always been a thing. And I think Black women should still continue to talk about how to manage their finances and manage the finances of, the home, if they have that going on with their husband, like you said, like helping to manage certain things and do the administrative part of things and the support role. I think that's very important. And it's just, these talking points that these red pill women are saying are basically to not pay attention to those things and not go to school, not get an education, or not trying to take a certificate class or something, and instead just focus on finding a man. But you have to have something about you that is of substance to really have a good family, in my opinion. Like, you can't just
Yeah.
worry about getting a man and then that's it. Like, there's more to it than that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And, Chantel mentioned, I don't know that much about her, so I was glad that you let a little bit of it play. But, she mentioned the fact that she has a sociology degree. There are certain people who are doing things in sociology and psychology that are making, really good money
Hmm.
and are able to network amongst potential suitors as well.
Hmm.
So I don't watch her because I don't like the ambiance of her channel.
Hmm.
But I'm very interested in us having excuse me, us having a community of women where we can say, okay, here, because not everything she said was wrong, right? I, as a person who also has a lot of student debt from a master's degree that, I didn't need, but got
Hmm.
it on the encouragement of my mother. We have to look at the fact that our mothers try to protect us
Yeah.
from the things that our mothers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers went through.
Hmm.
And I wonder if we sat down with a glass of wine with Chantel, if she wouldn't have a similar story of my family was trying to protect me by telling me to go get this MBA, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
in order to set myself up. So yeah. But we have our student loans now, and and you just kind of have to turn lemons into lemonade and still make it. And I think that the next generation, again, I'm just focused on telling them here are some directions you can go to get some high skills, um, that will do well. So yeah. And then I don't know if you have something else to say. I can just talk a little bit about Pearl.
Yeah, go ahead. So what are your thoughts on just Pearly Things as well?
So I've watched in fascination with regards to this because she started showing up in my algorithms a lot. And I know she started showing up in everybody's algorithms a lot.
Right.
And I was listening to a broadcast last night where there were a lot of Black men who were uplifting her
Mm-hmm.
and basically calling her the de facto the new Kevin Samuels and the de facto leader of the Black manosphere. Um,
Yes.
O'Shea did that. And I even put on my community wall today, like, I'm very surprised that Black men would be willing to turn over the reins to a white woman, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And and even when I was listening to this, again, this broadcast last night, even when other Black men were saying, I don't think that's what you want to do, when Black women were saying, I don't think that's what you want to do, they were like, no, 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 because we agree with the message. And, you know, I kind of wanted to just say, as Black women, beware of who the man that you are interested in, beware of who they're following.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Go into their algorithms if you can and just see who's popping up and who they're liking and who they're watching, because I think that that'll tell you a lot about their character, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, those are my thoughts with regards to that.
Yeah, you're right on point. I mean, it is surprising that, and honestly, I don't think that Pearly is making videos where she herself is claiming to be, you know, queen, king and queen of the Black manosphere or whatever. But,
Mhm.
a lot of Black men are kind of deeming her as that role, and there's a lot of Black men who are okay with her being that. And, like I said earlier in their life, that would never happen in the BW space. Like, there's a lot of
No.
Black women who prefer a white man, but a white man will never rise to the top of BWE. That's never going to happen here
Not
because,
only that, there
mm,
there have been Black women who have said to Themis, for example, you can never be the leader of this space. So
yeah.
I feel like Black women have been very protective of the BWE space,
hmm And
you
I don't
know?
think Themis wants to be. And
Mm-mm.
for him to really advocate for Black women, I don't get the vibe that he wants to steal a space that he's not a Black woman, so there's only so much identifying that he can do with the plight of a Black woman at that. But it's nice to see his support and his perspective as a Black man himself. But no, he doesn't have that desire to be at the top of BWE. And a lot of Black women, yes, you're right, wouldn't even allow that. Like, no man would be at the top of our space in that way. So it is
Yeah.
interesting how they're welcoming her in, with open arms while
Yeah.
complaining about the gynocracy and the matriarchy of the Black community and things like that.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say, and then I'll leave, is that for years I've been hearing Black men say Oprah was the issue.
Mm,
Oprah
mm-hmm,
was the issue, right? That's the
mm-hmm.
name they always throw out, even though they can never tell you what episode Oprah was really an issue in.
Yeah.
I wonder if 20 years from now, who they're going to blame. Because I think that this decision within the Black manosphere is a critical decision that they're
hmm
making, right?
Yeah.
And I, 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 that's one of the reasons why I've turned from being, super pro-Black with Black women dating Black men to really encouraging Black women to open up their options.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been the type that's just dissuaded Black women, but I've really become vocal about it in the last year and a half because I'm seeing this. And I think that Black women have um, not only the right, but you know, we deserve to be loved. We deserve to have good, stable husbands, good, stable families. I'm trying to get the out of wedlock birth rate down on my channel. while
Mhm.
also creating a way for women to be able to stay at home with their children. And I think that these are the messages that we need to have within the Black women empowerment space. So,
Yeah, and I really love how your message is, like you're saying, to help Black women find their skills and create that financial freedom for themselves. So, because not every guy is a millionaire or makes
yeah,
six figures, and it's
yeah,
unrealistic to think that we're all going to end up with one. I mean, everyone has a goal to have a man, with resources, of course, but the reality is that not all of us are going to get the amazing connection and a rich man at the same time. So if you can have the amazing connection and you have skills that you can make money off of to allow yourself to stay home as a woman that you actually enjoy, why not go that route as well? Because at the end of the day, your goal of not going to work and being home with your children is still being met. And you have that amazing connection with your husband who'll be in the home to, help you raise the children and things like that. So I really do love your message, and I completely agree with it as well.
yeah. Thank you. I just want to say one final thing to women because you sparked something in me.
Hmm.
While we may not marry men who are millionaires, which most men aren't, I
Hmm.
do suggest that women marry men who have skills.
Mm.
I suggest, and we're going to talk about this hopefully on Sunday when you come onto the channel, but I
Yes.
suggest that women do not marry men who are unskilled labor
Mm.
because the American economy, they're going to get crushed in the next 5 to 10 years. So, um, and one of the things that I saw recently was something. There's this a guy who wrote a book about men, and he's a white man, works with Brookings Institute, talks about all men, not just Black men. But he talked about the fact that there are a lot of men these days without purpose. And
Hmm.
because they have no purpose in life, they're kind of struggling. And
Mm.
I do think that a lot of men, not all, but a lot of men get their purpose from their careers. A career is not a $15 an hour job. A career is truly what skills do they have, whether they're white collar or blue collar, right?
Hmm.
Ladies, get that plumber if you can, or that
Hmm.
electrician, or the guy with the CDL. A lot of them can make good money, but yeah, that's just another suggestion that I have for women to really think about is what skill is he bringing to the table in order to make life better for us and the family, and you know expand your options.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that a man who's very handy and just knows how to build things with his hands and has that type of skill, like you're saying, plumber, electrician, just knows how to use his hands. I
Hmm.
think that's very attractive, and that is definitely a masculine trait because that represents building something, that represents you know fixing something, solving a problem, which is very masculine and it's attractive to a lot of women. There are a lot of women that, they love a man that gets dirty at work. It's just a symbol of masculinity that a
Yeah.
man is willing to get down to the nitty gritty and fix it and handle his business, instead of the guy who's sitting in the office all day typing away and coming home. And those guys do a lot of building and work, but it does look differently and it's more
Hmm.
new age modern compared to the guys who are the plumbers, electricians, and contractors or things like that that own contracting business and know how to fix things and have a craft. It's so attractive, and I think it's timeless, and it's never going to go out of style. So I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, but the white collar version of that, and I'm sorry, I keep going on with you, but the white collar version of that is a man who knows how to code and build an app, right? Or
Mhm.
build the
Yeah.
metaverse or
Yes.
a metaverse or,
Yes.
things like that. So, whatever it is that, and I did something on my channel about like how to know if he'll be a billionaire. and
Mhm.
and that's one of the things that they talk about is like what is he building, but you could be building something physical, or you could be building something in the metaverse, or a
Mhm.
cryptocurrency or things like that. But these are all versions of builders. So
Yes.
yeah.
And
Well,
it's
let me go for so I can get back to work. But thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for coming on. I did drop the link to Black Women's Making Money channel in the chat, ladies. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe because she gives amazing information on finances, how Black women can better their finances, married or not, wanting to get married or you don't want to. I really believe that her tips and her advice and the people that she has on her channel give great information and resources on how you can achieve your financial freedom.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good
Of
day, everybody.
course. Bye bye. All right, ladies. It's been an hour and 45 minutes. This was a great live stream. This is a great conversation. Um, yeah, Black Women Making Money is amazing. Subscribe to her channel. Gwen also has an amazing channel. She's, literally a wife. She's literally a stay at home wife. And she gives amazing tips as well on that lifestyle too, right? But this video was interesting. These two videos I showed you of Pearly Things and Chantelle, and what do you gain for being a red pill woman? You gain really no camaraderie. You don't really gain any companionship in this space. These men are not trying to be your friends in the red pill, because at the end of the day, you are a representation of what they believe is wrong with society. So you're not gaining anything from being a red pill woman. You definitely aren't gaining anything from being a pick me, and only upholding imagery that shows Black women in the wrong all of the time is not going to help Black women succeed. Black women, you're better off in spaces where we're talking about how to win, where we're pointing out, yes, we're talking about our mistakes, but we're not harboring on it. We're not making it the overall, like, deep rooted message of what we're trying to do here. We talk about our mistakes to learn from it, and then we talk about different ways we can course correct, right? Teresa says some of us don't have a goal of getting married. And if you believe that's for you, that's fine. Personally, I'm pro marriage. I think a lot of Black women can benefit from being married. But like Sheree said, she's been married before, and so many other women have had long term relationships. Either way, you want to make sure that you're cultivating a good life for yourself with a man or without a man, and being able to come from a place where you don't have any bitterness, you don't have any jealousy, resentment, and you're only going to learn how to excel as a woman when you're in spaces talking about just that. You're not going to excel in spaces where the plight of the man is being pushed in your face, but nothing about how us women can win. Nothing about nothing about what we're going through and how we can defeat and win over some of these challenges. Let's see. Maya says, a truth, Proverb 31 woman makes income for the home. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Proverb 31 woman, yeah, she dealt with money in some kind of way. So this weird thing that men in the red pill space are saying in regards to women shouldn't have these accomplishments or worry about money, or the more money a woman has and accomplishments, red flag, like that's strange. There, no. That's not a reality. It's not a reality. Actually, if you have a lot of, like I said earlier, if you have a lot of education, you have you most likely have a lot of access to certain networks, and you're more likely to find this high value man, because women with PhDs tend to be in certain spaces and go to certain events where they can meet other men of the same caliber and higher. So, I'm not saying that's an absolute situation, but that tends to happen a lot of the times. All right, ladies, I'm going to end this live. I am going to leave it up. Comment down below your thoughts. Let me know what you ladies thought of this live stream. Make sure to like the video. And if you're a first time listener, subscribe. And I will talk to you ladies in the next one.